Yes, people. Uh, the hell? The hell is that? No, I don't know what is going on. I just noticed, like, I'm gonna have to go and brush my teeth after this. I noticed something was just stuck to my tooth. I wondered what it was. Um, Welcome back to another stream. Not the intro that I really call a good intro to the stream. Yeah, so first, I thought there was something in my drink, which there wasn't. And then, second of all, I saw there was something on my tooth. I think it was just a little bit of food from what I'd just eaten. A very nice pizza, by the way. Might I add? Welcome back to another stream. So, bikes. We're going to talk about bikes, and the question is have I got a bike? And the simple answer is no, I don't have a bike. But what I am going to talk to you about is the fact that I very, very shortly, as a matter of fact, in just under 11 hours to the exact, could have a bike. I could be the owner of a bike and I could end up having a bike, but it's not 100% set in stone. So I will elaborate. I will talk about the whole experience during this stream. And yeah, I'll give a little bit of a brief first for anybody that's thinking like, what noble bikes, what's going on? I haven't seen anything. And I haven't really posted all too much about this like whole bike situation, like just because genuinely like it's not really like a music related subject for starters. It's not really anybody's business, but like I just kind of feel like it's something I want to share, but it's like not something I want to boast about every day. So I've not been like going on Facebook and rah rah rah, getting a bite, rah rah rah. I just kind of spoke to a friend, just said, look, I'm thinking possibly getting a little 125 on the road just to kind of get from A to B. With the work I'm doing, I travel to a lot of different places around the city, and I just thought, it would just be really cool if I had just a little bike to get from A to B. And then if ever I'm like visiting the grandparents, if ever I'm, just needing to get through to Driffield, like I can just swing by on the bike. And the thing about it is we're in a generation now where you can't always rely on the trains. Like you never know when the trains are going to strike, and if they don't strike, like it's very often that they end up for whatever reason cancelling a service. So I came back from my nan's on a train on Monday, and I happened to see that the train that was due to come after the one I was catching had been cancelled. And then when I was in Sheffield about 3 or 4 weeks ago, the train I was supposed to come back on had been cancelled. So it's kind of like one of them things where you just can never be sure. When you've got your own kind of like bike and you've got your own transport, you're not in a rush as such. Like you haven't like say you've got to catch a train at a certain time. So like I could be sat somewhere, say like my nan's for example, and then I don't know, it gets to 7 o'clock, and I think, do you know what? I'll just stop a little bit longer, and then I haven't got that like. But if I do that, I'm gonna miss the train. So I'm kind of free, like to set off when I'm ready to set off somewhere. So that was kind of a little bit of the thought behind why I kind of wanted to get a bike. And for those of you who may or may not know, I'm not a stranger when it comes to bikes. So we are a bike orientated family. My granddad used to race in the Isle of Man on the Manx Grand Prix. So around the TT circuit, it wasn't the actual TT itself, it was the Manx Grand Prix, which is held on the same course, and it's for the classic bikes essentially. So not like the modern sort of like sports and super bikes, but back then, you know, he raced sort of in the 60s, and he raced all the way through to about 1994 or something like that. And you know, my dad used to go with him as a kid to race meetings. My dad is a big bike enthusiast himself and owns bikes, and I too have had bikes on the road before. So I started off my biking career with a Aprilia SR50R, which was like a racing moped in it. Well, it was a road legal moped, but it was done out in racing colours. It was a bit faster than your average moped, and it was really nice. So I had that for about a year to nearly 2 years, and then I blew the piston on it essentially, and basically I fixed, but I just when it got fixed, it didn't feel the same. I'll be honest, it didn't feel the same. It felt a bit groggy. It didn't feel like it went as fast as it used to do. And it just didn't essentially really feel that good. And they said, "Oh, you've got to wear the new pistons in or whatever." And I just wasn't ever really that keen. And then it came sort of like the time to start thinking about an upgrade. And I upgraded to a Honda NSR 125 that my dad won on an auction for me. And I can't remember for the life of me where we went to pick it up. Like, I cannot remember where we went to pick it up from, but we went to pick it up essentially, and then just, you know, rode it on the road. Rode it for I think I rode it for a couple of years. And then I unfortunately had to sell it due to financial issues. I got made redundant out of a job, and I just couldn't afford to keep the bike on the road at the time. Um, and then that was kind of like my kind of like last sort of really anything to do with, you know, having a motorbike. So you know, now I'm thinking about getting one again. So, yeah. So, if you've not been following the streams, which I'm pretty sure some of you won't have, because you know new people find these streams all the time, these videos. So I spoke a while ago about wanting to get a bike on the road. It was only just you know, something I want to do. It was not something where I'd kind of like gone and done it, or you know, like obviously bikes, you know, they don't just come out of thin air. So I did a little bit of wiggling around, a bit of saving, sold some things that were just collecting dust, and saved a rather large amount of money, but nowhere near enough to buy a bike. But definitely went well on the way. You know, so a good start to buying a bike, and obviously I've been keeping my eye out, or better still, both eyes, and I've been looking around on eBay, Facebook pages for anybody, you know, just selling like a little communal bike. At this point, it isn't really just about getting the, you know, the fastest and quickest 125 out there. It's more about just getting something that's reliable, something that will run good, something that will get me from A to B. I mean, don't get me wrong, like to an extent, like I want it to be a little bit nippy, but I don't want it to necessarily, you know, absolutely fly by, and do, you know, amazing speeds. I mean, my NSR, um, you know, my NSR, that used to, you could max that literally about 100, like if you were really pushing it, but you'd have to be like really really pushing it. So I just wanted something, you know, if it'd do like round 65, 70, you know, that is like fast enough to keep up on like the open roads and things like that. You know, you're not gonna sort of go out of town, and you're going to have every car, you know, passing you like you would if you were sat on a moped doing like, you know, 30, 40 mile an hour. So you know, that was obviously like the, you know, that was like the main thing. So I've been looking around, and then over the weekend, I came across a bike on eBay that looked really nice, and it was a Lex Moto Assault in blue. So it's in like a blue color, and from what I've seen by like just researching into these bikes, because obviously I like to look at these bikes. I like to watch videos where people have reviewed them. I like to see like if people are thinking these bikes are any good, and what people are saying about these bikes. This blue color seems like quite a common color that you can get these bikes in. So they're like blue, and then they've got like a little like carbon fiber black sort of like mud guard on the front wheel. So the bike is a little bit of a mix between kind of like an off-roading kind of crosser style bike, with a mix of like a normal communal, kind of. It looks a little bit like from the sides. It looks a little bit like a Honda CBF 125, and then from the front, it's kind of got this kind of like crosser kind of styled look a little bit. It's got some like off-roading tires on it, like a crosser would, but it's not what you would really call like really high up, like you're on a big crosser. So it's like a communal bike, but it's got a little bit of a crosser feel to it. It maxes out at around 165 mile an hour, something like that, which, like I said again, for me, that will be absolutely splendid. But that'll be like more than enough to keep up with like traffic and stuff, and not be overtaken, like you would on a moped. And the thing about 125s is you can't ride them on the motorways. So if you have just like your CBT license, you can't go onto motorways with them. So I haven't got any worries of really loads of cars passing me, unless you've got some clown in his boy racer car that just wants to speed everywhere. Then if someone's speeding a little bit out of town or something, I might get overtaken. But ideally, national speed limit is around 60 mile an hour. So essentially, I think I'd have no issue keeping up with traffic if I was on one. So I found this listing on eBay, and the listing said it was from Hull. So that was like instantly like, well, I'm from Hull, like I am from Hull. And the listing was it wasn't at too bad of a price on eBay. I ain't gonna tell you the prices, by the way. I'm not gonna share any price information in the purpose of this stream. But it wasn't a bad price. A price where I thought, do you know what, like I'll go for it. And I'd had like the offer of being able to loan a bit of money from a friend. So that was kind of like, I thought, I want to at least like find out information, because if it's in Hull, I might be able to like easily go and have a look at this bike. And it's not like I'm having to travel like 20-30 miles plus, to wherever a bike would be if it was in, if it was in another town. So I messaged the seller on eBay to find out that it had been, unfortunately, it had been put into an auction, and the auction is literally happening tomorrow, and the viewing for the auction was today, so you could go and view anywhere from 9:30 up until about 5 o'clock today. So I was instantly like, well, like I want to go to this auction and have a look at this auction house, because I thought like it's a good way to have a look at the bike. And even if I don't necessarily like go any further with this bike, at least I've got a good feel for what these type of bikes are like. And to be fair, like the people at the auction house, like they couldn't be any nicer and they couldn't be any better. So they were more than happy to let me see the bike, they let me sit on it, they let me start it up. And I'm not gonna lie, I did fall in love with it. I did think, you know what, like I really really like this bike. So I rang my friend back up. And I said to my friend, I said, look, you know, I've had a look at the bike, I've had a sit on it, I've started it up, I sent him some pictures. I said, I really, really do like it. You know, I want to come back tomorrow and potentially bid on this auction. And he agreed that, you know, I should go back and have a little bid. And while this was happening, somebody who works in the auction house had overheard me on the phone. Typical nosy auctioneer people, people like trying to sell things, but in a good way. It was. I'm glad that she overheard, and she gave me a little bit more information that I didn't know. So there is like officially no, like, you don't go to an auction tomorrow, and you don't go and like sit somewhere. Like, the auction is done online essentially. Because I was thinking like I'm gonna have to book it off of work and stuff, and she was like, you don't need to book it off work. And she was just asking like, have I genuinely like been at auctions before and stuff like that, and you know, have I genuinely like done anything with auctions before. And obviously, you know, I haven't. Like, I went to an auction once years ago, to like a car auction. And I think we more just went to kind of watch. It wasn't like with the intent of buying anything, and I was like a kid. We went somewhere like to Bridlington or something, and I just remember there was like you know, there was like Ford Escort Cosworth was on sale, and it was just a general, like, you know, this is what an auction's like. And all I remember is like being told like, whatever you do, do not put your hand up because they'll think you're bidding. So I got told that as a kid. And we just watched, you know, we just went for a little bit of fun, something to do with my dad. I can't remember who else came, but yeah, we just watched these cars get auctioned. Quite probably about 15 years ago now. But it was really fun to see. But apart from that, my granddad sold a motorbike in auction, so I did get to witness that one as well. But I've never like physically, like, you know, been to an auction, like to like bid on anything, to like, you know, have a go at like, you know, buying anything or like selling anything myself in an auction. So it was all new to me. So the woman in the auction house, she was very kind. She shedded a lot of information, and anyway, I spoke to these people at the reception desk, and they shedded a bit more info about like buyer's premium and stuff, and just a little bit more about, you know, what will kind of go on. And I decided that I was gonna leave a bid. So I left a bid. I'm not gonna tell you how much I left the bid for, just because I ain't gonna go into prices and stuff, you know, and all the rest of it. You know, I don't discuss financial things on the channel in that sense, but I left a bid, and all I've got to do now is wait. So there is literally, as I'm doing this stream right now, there's 11 hours. There's 10 minutes on the auction itself. So, well, 11 hours and 9 minutes now. And yeah, so in the morning, the auction comes to an end, the sale ends. And there's been 7 bids on it so far, my bid being included. I did my bid, I think I did my bid probably about 10 hours ago now. Um, so so basically, I did my bid about 10 hours ago. No one has bidded since, and a person before that bidded about 13 hours ago. Then someone bidded 16 hours ago, 16 hours ago. A couple of people bidded yesterday, and then someone bidded 3 days, you know, bidded sort of like 3 days ago, which I would imagine would have been like somewhere when it first kind of went on to the auction with this like auction house, and sort of moved away from being like just a sale on eBay, if you like. So yeah, so I've left a bid, so I can keep watching the auction. I can keep seeing the process. will anybody else bid? What will happen in the morning? So I put a maximum bid. If somebody else bids, like it will automatically, like I will automatically bid again up until a certain amount. So I've got a little bit of a like limit, but I've got what it's at the moment. I've got a little bit of leeway, just to do a couple more bids, and then like if it goes any further than that, like I will sadly be out of the game, and then it will be like back to hunting again. So we'll see what happens. Like, I'm kind of 50-50. I kind of feel a little bit like surprised that like 11 hours and 7 minutes is not that long until an auction comes to an end. And I kind of feel like I don't know, something tells me personally that I would have thought like more people, like someone would have bidded after me personally. So I'm a bit 50-50. So my initial thoughts is that like I have already just sort of outbidded people, which I think that is a little bit hit and miss. I'm not certain I've done that, you know, because I think like what the current bid is now, what the current price is now, like all I'm gonna say is like these bikes they go for about double what the price is at the moment. So they go for about they go for about double what it is at the moment. So like I'm kind of thinking like surely like somebody else has like got a bid on this. But just the fact that the auction like doesn't have that long left on it, like just makes me wonder like if anybody will bid. But at the same time I'm thinking like in the morning like people could like go into a little bit of a bidding war as it's about to end, and because the normal sort of like prices for these bikes are like sort of double what they are at the moment, I've got a feeling that I might get outbid, and it will just go up to a higher price. And unfortunately, I'd love to like just battle until I got the bike, but I just couldn't do that personally. Like I had to set like a realistic goal, and the fact that the reserve was so low, and like not many people had bidded on it, and like there hasn't been like a lot of bidding activities. Like there's been like literally 7 bids over the course of like sort of like 3 days. So like normally like I think you'd see a little bit more like action when it comes to bidding, and like the biddings like they've been like really like small bids. So like, and they've been going up in like really small amounts. So what I will tell you about prices without going like into what the price is now and what I bid is, the first bid took it to £55, and then the second bid took it up to £70. So you can see that it's like a really small, like they're not really going up, and then they started going up a little bit more. So it went to £100, 150, and then it went on, and now it's like stopped somewhere. But there hasn't been loads of people like just bidding and bidding, and I'm kind of thinking like it's maybe not the type of place really where they sell a lot of motorbikes. I'm not sure. Like I've never heard of this auction place before, until like discovering that this bike had been taken to this auction place. So I'm thinking maybe like the auction's kind of more known for a lot of other things, but like they sell the odd bikes from time to time, and maybe like just a lot of people aren't maybe aware of it, because it's maybe not really well advertised. Like I wouldn't have known it was in this auction house if it hadn't have been for me like messaging the seller on eBay. Apart from that, I thought it was just something that was on eBay. So I'm not really sure, but we'll have to see. So like tomorrow we'll tell. So they said to me, what they said to me was is they said that like if I'm successful, they will give me a call on Thursday to arrange like payment, and to arrange like actually collecting the bike itself, and collecting the keys and everything. So like, I may win it tomorrow, but like it doesn't mean I'll get it tomorrow, because there's a few things that have to be done sort of behind the scenes before I can grab it. It's not just a case of, yeah, you've won, let's go and pick it up. It's more a case of, when it ends, I will win, and then somebody will contact me the following day to say, look, you've been successful, you won this bike, we got to arrange, like picking it up, like and payment. So we'll see what happens. So I'm not gonna lie. Like I say, I'm not getting my hopes up, but I have got like really excited. But I don't think I can help it, because I've not had a bike for a while, and I just feel a little bit excited, and like, yes, I can't wait to get a bike again. And I kind of feel like it's just happened so quick. Like I was only just not long ago, like just thinking of like the possibility of getting a bike back, and then a good friend of mine who lives in the same block of flats now, he loaned me a helmet. He gave me a helmet because he had a spare helmet, and then he had a pair of gloves for me. And then today, I came back from one of my work events, and in the sort of like place where I live, like this social housing flats, there's like just in the front foyer, there's like a little windowsill, and people like put stuff on there, and it's like it's just they put stuff on there, and you can take stuff for free, essentially. So like you'll get like, sometimes there'll be like some tinned food on there, sometimes there might be maybe like a bread loaf on there, or say, I don't know, somebody in here like goes and buys some like shopping, and then they realise they've picked something up that they don't like, or they've picked something up that they know they're not going to eat. They can put it on this windowsill, and donate it, and then anybody who just kind of, maybe if somebody's struggling a bit, like that tin of food could help. But it doesn't only just have to be like tins of food, so people leave like DVDs, books. If someone's watched a DVD and they're finished with it, and rather than just like getting, I don't know, 25p for it at CEX or whatever, they'll just put it on the windowsill. And then if someone like thinks, oh, I'll grab this and watch it, even if they then put it back on the windowsill after, it's just kind of like, something that happens. So I come back from my work thing today, and there was a box, and it had some clothes in it, and right on at the top of the pile was a jacket, and it was a big it was a big leather biker jacket. Is the only way I can describe it. So I tried the jacket on, and lo and behold, it didn't perfectly fit, but it almost fits to the point where like I could get away with wearing it. And I just thought, like, how mad is that? That I'm literally like, like tomorrow I find out if I've like, if I won a bike on auction, and I come to basically come home to find a biker jacket in a box, that is like free to a good home. So it's a really weird thing. And I was at my work thing today, and there was a woman talking about CBT. Not the bike test. She was talking about like the therapist CBTs. But just the fact that I'm thinking about bikes, and then CBT comes up on the screen, like, even though it's a different type of CBT, it's almost like it's giving me signs about like getting a bike. Like CBT pops up, and then I come here and I get a bike jacket. One of the residents here loans me a helmet and gloves, and just so many mad things, mad things, absolutely mad things, which is crazy. So yeah, so I thought I'd share this little story with you. So basically, that is the score. If I get the bike, I will do a stream and I will update you. And then at some point, I will do a video on the bike. Like I'll show you the bike, and we'll do all that kind of jazzy thing. I haven't done my test yet, and I haven't like got insurance or anything. So Like when I buy the bike, it's gonna go and be stored at like a friend's house. So like I'll buy the bike and then I probably won't like really have anything to do with it for like maybe a month or so, because obviously when you book your test, like it might be a couple of weeks before you're able to do it, and then you have to get accepted for an insurance quote, and then you have to road tax, and there's a few things that need to be done. I need to buy like a lock and things like that, and a chain to lock the bike up and stuff and keep it like all secure. So isn't going to be a case of like I bought a bike, let's ride it. Unfortunately, but I didn't really want to do my test until I knew like full well that I've got a bike or like I'm getting a bike. And I didn't want to obviously like just pay and insure something that that I don't even like have on the road yet, kind of thing. So it was just one of them like where I thought I want to kind of get the bike first because I can like store the bike somewhere and then I can just do all the other bits I need to do, and then the bike's there ready when I've passed everything, and then I don't like pass my test and get everything else fit and then think like I need to find a bike and then I can't find a bike or there's just nothing about, and then I spend like half a year looking for a bike, which is like half a year on the CBT, because you've got to redo your CBT every 2 years. So like I want to kind of like get the maximum I can out of the 2 years on the bike, rather than like doing a test and then spending like half of the CBT time like looking for a bike and then only just really getting it out on the road for a little bit. Obviously in winter you don't ride as much, because the weather's not as good, and icy conditions, and just not all that good. As you would like riding them in summer and stuff. By all means, this is not me saying that my bike is going to hibernate in winter, because it won't. I will ride it in winter unless it is like absolutely throwing it down, to the point where I just think, yeah, I'm not going out in that. On the bike, or if it's like really really mega icy, then I won't be going on it. But if it's just a bit of a dull and cold day, if it's been a little bit of rain but it's not raining, and it's starting to dry up, then yes, I will probably still take the bike out. But we'll see. I mean, I haven't even got it yet. I'm jumping the gun. If I don't get this bike, I'll just obviously continue searching. Like it's no hard do by it. Be a little bit gutting because I like the bike and I've sat on it, which I kind of feel like the first time you put your arse cheeks on the bike seat, you kind of connect. But yeah. So anyway, like, comment, share, peace.